Hi, everybody. This is Pallavi. I'm the founder of a curated marketplace for sustainable products called Our Better Planet. And we work with a range of sustainable businesses, NGOs, clusters. We are talking about recycled ceramics today. And I have Shashank Nimkar with me. He's the founder of Earth Tattva Recycle Ceramics, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his journey as well as the kind of products that they manufacture. I'll just have him with us in a minute. So, Earth OBP family, and we are very excited to know more about uh, how we can.
I'll just.
Hi, Shashank. Hi, Shashank.
Hi
Hi, how are
Pallavi.
you? I'm good.
I'm good. How are you?
Glad we are on this live. Been a crazy day.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm very excited to chat with you because the recycled ceramics bit has been something that has been on my mind for quite some time, because considering better serveware or drinkware, we always resort to ceramics, right? At least I do. And then
Yes.
I'm always worried when it chips off a little bit, or the handle of the mug pops out. And then of course we try to upcycle it, to use it in a different manner. But then it's not really for a very long period of time that it even stays like that. So when I came across Earth Tattva, are you there? You're frozen for me. Okay. Hi, are you there?
Yes.
You were frozen for me. Could you hear me, or should I restart?
Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you.
Okay, okay. So I was just saying that this was always a quest for me to figure out as to how to utilize it best. And I think very early on, when I heard about Earth Tattva, I think I had pinged you to ask you about how it's being done, etc. But we couldn't at that point in time connect. And now, thankfully, you guys are on the platform. So I would like everybody to know, what do you do, how do you do it, and how is it better for everything, like for the environment as well as for our pockets, so everything.
Yes. What we basically do is that we procure the production rejects of ceramics from manufacturers
Start with,
because we realize.
sorry to cut you. Can you start a little bit with your introduction and then the company, and then get to what you do, so that everybody knows?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, makes sense. So I am Shashank Nimkar, founder of Earth Tattva, and I was pursuing my master's in industrial design at NID. That is when I got this idea of ceramic waste, because ceramic is one ancient material that has been manufactured since centuries, and we still have these proofs of different eras that we find from the excavation sites of archaeology. And that's when we get to know that ceramics do not biodegrade for centuries, and industries today have so much of waste that's coming out from their production rejects, because ceramic is one material which cannot be repaired. These products cannot be repaired.
Yeah.
So we have to do something about it. Right now it's completely being landfilled, and at Earth Tattva what we do is we procure these production rejects and turn them into a new universal material. It's basically a clay which we call Tattva mix, which can then be used to make any existing ceramic products, and in terms of performance they are as good as conventional ceramics, so they are as strong or even stronger than normal ceramics. They can be used in microwave, they are food safe as well, and in terms of aesthetics they look stunning, and you don't have to compromise on your aesthetic preferences when you use recycled ceramic products. In terms of the impact, with every piece that we make we are able to save mining of natural resources by up to 60%, and it reduces carbon emissions by up to 22.4%.
Uh, and how did this start in the sense? Uh, I know you've studied this as part of as your masters, right?
Yeah.
So did you have this already like understanding? Did you pursue the masters that you want to do something in this area with recycled ceramics, or this is that came up while you were doing?
Yes, it came up while I was pursuing the course, because I realized as designers, we usually make our own iterations of existing products and we have to keep making them for every season. And then in that process, we have to do so many testings, and in the manufacturing as well, we will create a particular amount of rejects, because in ceramics, we can't really control how much rejection we will have or which piece will be good or not. So then I thought, instead of doing that, why can't we use all the existing waste that we have and then turn it into a universal material which everybody can use, and then create all the beautiful and functional products that we use today, but collectively we will have a positive impact of not using so much of fresh resources.
Okay. And the Tarva mix that you make, this is again goes to create more products, right? So eventually,
Yes.
when this product breaks down, then can we again make it into a mix, or is it gone for its life?
Yes, I think that is one of the biggest USPs that this innovation holds, because if we see any recycled product as a concept, it's very simple. We have a dry waste and we just need some binder to mix with it, give it a shape, and it becomes a recycled
Right.
product. But the question to ask as designers or makers is that what happens in the afterlife of these products, because we can't separate the binder and the dry waste, and it eventually will go to landfill. So what we are doing with Tattva Mix is that we are using clay itself as a natural binder for the ceramic waste, because clay after firing will become ceramics. So essentially it's a single material. It's not a blend of multiple materials. So that's why we can keep recycling Tattva Mix for multiple production cycles.
Okay. No, I wanted to clarify that because recycling concept is being, kept on a certain very high pedestal right now, and recycle has its own complications, right? Because once you recycle it, then the end of life is an even complicated process to biodegrade, etc. Because then it again is mixed with something that makes it even tougher for it to degrade, right? So
That's right.
always a question in my mind whether recycling is actually the way to go. But I understand that for so many different products, so I think I'm very fascinated by the idea that you collect all these broken pieces of ceramic and then you make this mix. And this mix is also good for studio potters who are really making things by hand, or is it only for commercial usage?
It is good for all scales of production. In fact, that is also what we are doing. We are offering Tattva Mix as a raw material to studio potters and all kinds of makers. In fact, students are also buying it because they want to use it for 3D printing of their prototypes. So only when more and more makers use this material, we can have a collective impact. But we have started making finished products as well, so that we can exhibit what all is possible with this material.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so how old? I mean, what kind of research went into it? What was the time period when you started and the first product was live? And where are you in your journey right now? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We actually started working on this. I mean, I started working on this as my student project almost 6 years back. It took around 8 to 9 months of research and R&D and a lot of material-based testings to get the first prototype ready. In fact, our first prototype was made out of 70% recycled content, but to make it viable for large-scale production, we brought it down to 60% recycled content. And so then we started our commercial operations around 3 years back. And yeah, of course, because the material is so natural, it gave us a lot of challenges to really figure it out for large scale production. So our launch got delayed, but then now our finished products as well as the Tattvamix raw material are available in the market. And now we are scaling up the production of finished products because we are getting a lot of inquiries from corporates for their branded green gifting option.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's where we are also working with you guys to include it in our sustainable hampers, etc. And I have to say this, that the colors are so neutral and the finish is so good that it just doesn't appear like. And we are highlighting the fact that it is recycled ceramics, but you really have to spell it out because there is no way anybody can understand that from the look and feel of the product. So it looks absolutely like how a new. In fact, I found it to be much lighter than. I don't know if it's a design choice, but I found them to be more thinner and lighter than the conventional ceramic uh, products that we typically get in the market. They're a little more bulkier and fatter and not so pleasant to use on the table. And sometimes they are heavy, but I found them quite uh, easy to work with, and they look also very stunning. So there is no way to really be able to put your finger on and say that yeah, this is recycled if you put it amongst other products. So that's really. And when you say 60% is recycled material, the rest of the 40% is like brand new material, right?
Yes, that is a fresh clay that we need to use it as a binder because the recycled content doesn't have any binding property.
Okay. And then this binder is like a normal clay, so it is not really going to have any issues with the recycling of again making the tattwa mix, right?
Yeah, not issue, no issue at all. So in fact, it's a blend of multiple different clays because each clay has its own property that we need to, for it to exhibit and perform in a particular situation, whether we want to cast it or we want to do pottery on the wheel.
Oh,
So depending on the application, we have two different variants of these clays.
okay, okay. And the other thing that I asked was do you what plan? So are you going to remain as you're going to remain in the kind of products that you're doing right now? Because these are more products that can be easily branded, right? They are very clean and clear and simple. But are we also looking at doing more complicated products or with designs, etc.? Is that a possibility with Tatva Mix, or is there any restriction that we need to work with?
So far, there is no restriction as such. So we have also tried making bigger sanitary ware pieces using it, and the outcome is quite good. I mean, we can't really visually make out that it's not made out of conventional clay. And now, slowly, as we move forward in our journey, we will also do testing for making technical ceramics out of it. Like we have our high tension electrical wire insulators, which are made out of ceramics. We are going to try making those as well.
Okay, okay, okay. And these are going to be so you're going to diversify into these product areas with Tatva Mix. That's the plan.
Yes. So the plan is to associate with different manufacturers of different kinds of products, so that we can have applications for Tattvamix. We will be definitely be focused on finding better ways or optimizing the material further, but we ourselves don't want to get into manufacturing because there's so much to do with it. Our job is to make this alternate option of material available to makers of different industries and different scales.
So anybody who's working with ceramics, we are basically saying that you can buy a mix and you can make your product out of it.
Yes, that's the bigger idea of Earth Tattva.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, what was I going to ask? I completely forgot. I just wanted to also know that do you plan to get into like homeware, or is that a category that you're just starting with and experimenting with, or and what are the other who are the other people who are doing this? Because it seems like it's a very new concept, like recycled ceramics. So is there competition? Are people doing it the way you guys are doing it, or is it something which is like a patent that you guys are going to apply for, or that you hold already, or that you have applied for?
Yes, we hold a patent for this. And so right now in India, there are various industries who are using recycled content, but it's more of a hygiene practice where they have to show something to the pollution control board. So the organized sector is using around 8 to 10% of recycled content, while the unorganized sector is using around 2 to 3% of recycled content. While world over, there have been many initiatives by some well-known brands as well as independent designers and artists to find a solution for recycling ceramics. And interestingly, everyone's approach is very different. So that ways, there's a lot of variety in how we can recycle ceramics. Our approach was that we wanted to make a universal material out of it in the first place, which could be used to make any existing products. Other approaches may be product specific, but then there are approaches.
Right. Okay. And ceramic in itself cannot be called sustainable material, right? Because it doesn't really biodegrade for a very long period of time.
Yes, and it also consumes a lot of energy. So we should definitely not use for a single use purpose like we usually have these terracotta kulhards.
Yeah. So that you're saying it's not a good option. The terracotta coolers is not something that people should typically work with.
If it's a single use, then we should avoid it. If it's glazed and if we can wash it and reuse it, then it's definitely a good idea.
Right. So generally, people have this notion in mind that these mitti coolers, the terracotta coolers, are typically referred to as mitti coolers, right? And they get, I mean, they become mitti, but that's not true, right? It just takes for it never degrades. I mean, it's not biodegradable at all.
No, it is
Okay.
not.
Okay. And I mean, I think I've asked you so many questions, and I've kind of, I had some personal things to know, and then I think we have thrown a little bit light on what you guys are doing and how you're doing it, and the material is available to be bought now from you guys, right? The Tattva mix is
Yes.
something that is being made available, as well as the products that you've come up with. And the products that you've come up with, it's a very small range right now, right? So is that
Yes, yes.
choice?
Yes, definitely. So we specifically chose these set of products because first thing is that in ceramic industry, tableware is one of those few products that the end users choose to buy themselves. If we start making sanitary ware or tiles, of course, there is a huge impact, but the production is equally challenging. And second, there are a lot of stakeholders in the sales channel where they may not be aligned with what we are offering and they may not pitch to the final clients who are actually going to buy and use it. So there is something that we lose the penetration in the market. Second, these products act as stock trigger on our dinner tables. Whenever we have guests, we like to talk about why are we buying or using this bowl or mug, and that initiates the conversations about being a conscious consumer. There are so many different innovations happening or better materials available. That doesn't really happen with tiles or any other products usually. So that was the main thing that we started with tableware products.
Okay, okay. And where do you see it going? I'm picking up well, and people are really uh, interested in understanding more about recycled ceramics, or are they more keen on still going the conventional way because there are many options available? So, do you feel there is a market that's really awakening to these kind of products?
Oh yes, Definitely. So there, I mean, I realized this during my project while I was doing research and interacting with potential users that there have been avid users of ceramics who only want to use ceramics because they know the benefits of it, and of course it looks more premium. But then there are health benefits as well against plastic or any other materials. So that's why they definitely keep wanting to use ceramics, but then they also know that when it breaks nobody accepts it, no kabadi wala accepts it, and you just have to give it away as a landfill. So that's why there is a lot of interest, especially towards the finished products and from institutions as well, because a lot of corporates and other institutions want to move towards green gifting options, and mug is one of the most standard gifting options, which is also functional and very good placement for branding. So I think it works, it checks all the marks or boxes that a good gift or a green gift needs to be.
Of course, yeah, yeah. And what's the understanding with glass? I mean, is glass something that it doesn't biodegrade, right? But but so that's also as bad as ceramic because it of course it cannot be really made into something new as well.
So glass is also another ancient material which has been recycled again and again since centuries. So there has been a proper supply chain and an industry infrastructure that is for its recycling, and that is well known across the society. And a good part about it is that recycling of glass needs almost half the energy to recycle it rather than making fresh glass from a new silica. So
Okay.
that ways, the innovation is pretty much set. And then we are not mixing glass with our composition because we believe then it loses its inherent property of being transparent and a lot of other properties that it needs. So we keep all these materials separate. And in fact, the glaze that we have in the recycled content is also a glass material in a way. So that ways it helps us to reduce our firing temperature as well.
Okay. Okay. So what we're using can be made remade into the tattva mix, and then something similar can be made out of it again. So we can be rest assured
Yes.
that this is completely not going to the landfills and
Yes.
not going to lie or and not degrade ever.
Hmm.
That's very good to know because for avid ceramic users, like you said, it's I think it's a great product because if you keep going back to ceramics, you always have this uh, issue with not being able to use it completely. So, is there a way that people can send over their broken ceramics to you, or is there a program like that? Are you guys doing something about that? Like,
At the moment, we are not able to do it because we don't have a crushing machine in-house. It's a very heavy-duty infrastructure. So we get the industrial rejects crushed from an industry itself, and then we get it and we source it. But as we scale up, we definitely want to set up crushing units in different parts of the country so that we can collect post-consumer waste as well.
okay. And you might think about taking back your own product. That'll be easier to redo it into the Tattva mix. Will your products be easier or it's the same? I mean, once I'm working with a usual ceramic product and your product, it's the composition is exactly the same, or is there a difference?
The composition is different, but it won't matter so much once it is fired. So we can in fact accept broken pieces from some other brands as well.
Okay, okay, that's great. Yeah. So on Our Better Planet, we are trying to really look at partners wherein we can rechannelize the same product that somebody has bought from us. So we have started working with some brands in the fashion category because it's easier to do. I mean, once you have probably you've outgrown the size of, or you have worn it enough and you want to send it back, it's an easier option. But with ceramics, there is so much happening right now, and I think the studio potters are also, that segment is also really popping up. I mean, a lot of people are doing amazing work. So with so much of ceramic in circularity in right now in the households, I'm sure it's going to very quickly be a problem as to how to discard it. So, if we can work on something like that, I think that will be a good option for people to. I know it's not very easy to ship these things back, but and also not very green to ship these things back. But then it's definitely greener to instead of just letting them enter the landfill. So
Yes.
that is something
In
that.
fact,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. In fact, as the whole ecosystem evolves, our transportation will become more greener, and then the transportation will be viable for us to collect the waste back.
Like the waste back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, very soon. And I think I've run out of questions. I've kind of got all my information. And I just wanted to thank you for joining the OBP family because we are very excited to have these products on the website as well as a part of our gifts. Because we take a lot of we put in a lot of attention in curating our hampers, which we recently did, and you are aware where your mugs and your bowls have gone into. The catalog is going to be ready, and we're going to share it with you as well. But they just complement our hampers very well. So thanks for being a part of that as well. And I really hope that we have a good working relationship on OBP. And thank you so much for your time today to just throw more light. We just do these little discussions so that if anybody wants to understand generally about what you're doing or how is it different, then they can refer back to these videos or maybe be a part of the live. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you sometime.
Yes, we'll meet soon.
Yes.
Glad to be a part of the platform. So looking forward to meeting more innovations as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. See you. Bye.